before I start jamming, I need to get a little more situated, get my vape where it's supposed to be. Yeah, the batteries are about to die. There. How much is left on here? I'm also, for reasons unknown, gonna try to simulcast on TikTok. I don't know how well that's gonna go. I was on there earlier today. I got a few people that come in there. Not a whole lot. I don't know. I don't know how much longer it's gonna be before I just drop TikTok. Okay, try to get that situated. Oh, it's about to go live. And so I'm live. And need a pick. might get drunk tonight, but I got some things I got to do in the morning. That's going to require me to be a clear, sober mind. Something sounds funny there. That's fine. Just a little out of tune. That comes from this Bigsby here on the end. I hate a Bigsby. I never use a whammy bar. I'd take it off, but it would take away how pretty it makes it look. I don't know enough about TikTok to know if there's anybody in here or not. I couldn't even begin to tell you. In case you don't know, simulcasting on TikTok, because I'm doing it here on YouTube. I'm new to TikTok. I'm not too sure about if I'm going to continue being on there or not. Come off. I don't know. Hands feel kind of stiff. So I didn't warm up again before I started playing. And when you get old like me, older than being cantankerous, you need to warm up shit. Maybe sometimes my hand hurts from playing. I thought about putting like icy hot on it. I've been told that's a common complaint actually, but I don't know how true that is. Hmm. Well, there was somebody in TikTok, then they disappeared. You got me. Like I said, my future for TikTok is precarious at best. Screwed up. It's probably enough of heavy metal hell for the moment. Check out the acoustic line tune. Yep, I'm in open G. Yep. bitch. God damn it. Let me take a drink. I got the cotton mouth. So please excuse me. Ah. Man. Boy, I screwed the pooch on that one. Wrong chord. something's tickling my ear. Just not on the inside, just that little dip right after your earlobe. Something's itching. You think maybe it's because I ain't had a bath in 6 months? No, I bathe every day. I'm coming. See what they. Down. Oh. Oh, I've been on here 30 minutes. Am I a Christian? I didn't know anybody was even in here. I definitely believe in God. If you want me to tell you about it, how I did, because I used to be at best maybe an agnostic, but I do believe in God now because I was on the other side. I did not die. What it was, if anybody wants to even stay and listen to this, I got a video about it on my main channel, but I'll tell you now if you want to hear it. What happened was, I knew this lady named Debbie, and I love Debbie very, very much. In fact, to this very day, 10 years after her death, almost 11, I still think about her every day. She was good to me. She wasn't just a lover, but she was a good friend, and I miss her terribly. She died from lung cancer. When they discovered it, it had already metastasized to her brain, which it was a non-small cell stage 4 lung cancer, and there was nothing that could be done. I mean, you got a 0.01% chance of survivability or something like that, and which basically means unless God comes down and heals you, you're a goner. You know, that's just all there was to it. Well, toward the very end, right after they quit doing treatments and right before hospice come in, we got to talking about the big question: what happens afterwards? Does anyone really know? Do you? Have you been there? Has Joe, the neighbor, maybe Melanie across the street? I don't know. I know I was on the other side, and I'm about to tell y'all what happened. Well, like I said, me and her got to talking, and she knew she was about to die. She knew she was about to pass. And I was raised in the Assemblies of God, which gave me a really bad disposition toward organized religion. It did. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. I tried going back to church not too long last year, at a Methodist church, and I really like the Methodists. I don't have an issue with that. It's just, for one, I was the youngest one there. I'm 60 years old, and two, like I said, I got hang-ups about organized religion. But anyway, forget about that. I told her, I said, at this point, and she knew she was about to go, that if you feel like you need to repent, go repent. What you got to lose? I said, you know my stance on it. I said, I don't believe in none of that nonsense. It's a bunch of shit, is what my word was. Well, no, this is also going out on TikTok. I guess someone maybe one day will go on TikTok and watch. But anyhow, on June 15th, 2015, it was around between 5:30 and 6. I'm not sure. I remember there was a light rain outside, and she had been out of it like in a coma, and she come out of it. She didn't speak to me, but she said she wanted her son to have the house, and she was very clear and adamant about it. And for like 10 minutes, she talked about, I forget what she talked about. I don't remember, but like maybe it wasn't no more than 45 minutes after that. She took her last breath and was gone. And I was heartbroken, even though I knew it was coming. I felt so helpless because there was nothing I could do, nothing. Well, that happened in Pasadena, Texas. By the way, I'm in Texas, if you couldn't tell by my accent. And I went, and I couldn't stay there anymore. I didn't want to be there. And I ran off to where I live now, here in Baytown, Texas. And, I forgot to add this. This is an important point. When me and her was talking about what was going to happen afterwards, I asked of her, I said, if it's possible, because I don't know about these sort of things. I think I know more now than what I did, but at that time I didn't. I asked of her, I said, I want you, if it's possible, if there's something there, and if you can, let me know that you're all right. Because, like I said, I really love Debbie. And in fact, I think I probably still do. That's a different avenue we don't need to go down. But at any rate, she agreed. And like I said, not long after that, like a week and a half, she died. Maybe it was 2 weeks later, something like that. Well, anyway, I'm back here in Baytown. And this is in 2015, probably, not probably, it was latter part of October, early November. I think it was latter part of October. It was before Halloween, I'm pretty sure. And I woke up, and this is like about what, 3-4 months after she had passed. And to say I'm in a good state of mind is a lie. And there ain't no one fucking here. I'm talking to the goddamn air. I'll be damned. I mean, you ask me questions, you want to know something, then you fucking leave. No, there's someone back. I don't even know if I should continue going on what I was talking about. Is there anyone in here? Yeah, there's one person named Clayton. Hi, Clayton. I'm kind of new on TikTok. I ain't been here very long, so if I don't catch you, because I'm simulcasting on YouTube at the same time. I was telling them about my, what happened to me, but my out-of-body experience. No, don't be sad. I was then. I'm not so much now. But anyway, I will continue what I was talking about. Anyway, like I said, I was back here in Baytown. And I woke up one morning, it was before dawn, and my window faced east, and I was facing that way, and I seen it was dark, and I was miserable and unhappy because Debbie was gone. I decided that I was going to go back to sleep. I did not want to be awake. It just wasn't happening. Now, before I continue, I want to get quite clear that I'm not on drugs. I do smoke pot, but I don't do coke or pills or psychedelics or anything like that. I'm not a schizophrenic. I'm in my right mind. I know who I am. I, I know up from down. Well, like I said, I closed my eyes. I don't know how long my eyes were closed, but all of a sudden I heard Debbie's voice. And I went, Debbie, is that you? She said, yes, baby, it is. Come here. And when I'd been around the world, literally one time, literally from uh, everywhere from Okinawa to Japan to Germany to France, the UK, uh, just all over the place. South America, many years ago, and I've seen all kinds of different places. Well, I'd never seen a place like this. There was light everywhere. It didn't hurt my eyes, but it was just everywhere. And I remember seeing this. There's this grass. It was golden, this golden grass. And I remember looking to my left, and there was these gently rolling hills, and it went on forever and ever and ever. I don't remember seeing a sun as we see it, but I wasn't freaking out. It was it was like the most natural thing in the world. And well, uh, I I remember seeing my hands, and you know how when you come out of a swimming pool and there's like an aura around everything. Well, uh, um, that's what was on my hands and my forearms, as I recall. Uh, and once again, I wasn't freaked out. No, I wasn't. My mind wasn't blown. Like I said, it was the most natural thing in the world. And I I looked to my right, and there's this two-story dark brown wood frame house. And I do not specifically remember walking through the door, but I found myself inside, and I'm in the kitchen. Well, I know it was the kitchen because there was kitchen cabinets and a counter. And on this counter there was Debbie. Debbie was sitting on the counter. And she had all her hair. She was wearing some capris, a peach blouse. I don't remember if she had shoes on. I couldn't tell you. But uh, the first thing I said, Debbie, what's it like where you're at? And Debbie could be real blasé, and she said, it's okay. That was just, it could have been a dinner with the President of the United States. She would have said the same thing. And in fact, just FYI, I recall her saying the same thing about my cooking. So when I see her again, I'm gonna have to ask her about that. But anyway, uh, knowing me, I was asking a million different questions, and I know something occurred or answers were given, but it's blanked out. No matter how hard I try, I cannot remember what was said. I just can't. I've tried. It's like there's a wall there, and it ain't gonna happen. But anyway, the last thing Debbie did say to me that I am consciously still aware of, and she said, Robert, you're gonna be all right. That's my real name, Robert. That's about all y'all gonna ever get about that, because online my name is Zeb Doz. But uh, well, anyway, when she said that, I didn't get to say goodbye. I didn't get to say I love you or anything like that. I found myself back in my room, and like old John in the Revelation, he said he didn't know if he was in his body or out of his body when he had his experience. In my case, I'm saying I was out of my body. That's me. Well, I'm usually up by 4:30 or 4:30 every morning, and it was 11:30 in the morning. I never sleep like that. Even if I pulled an all nighter, I would always get up by 8. I'm just weird that way, and Well, uh, I thought, in my mind, not right at first, because my first thought was, what happened? Did that really happen? What occurred here? And I said, no, wait a minute. That's my subconscious trying to heal itself over Debbie's death. And for several months, I went, it was always in the back of my mind, but that's what I believed for like 4 or 5 months there. Well, one day, my dad calls me. Now, me and my dad walked out when I was 7 years old. Never really had a relationship with him, nothing like that. And uh, he called me and he said, I need to talk to you. And I wasn't rude, but I was kind of like, well, what do you want? We don't have a relationship. I didn't say this, but I thought this, that we don't really have a lot in common, nor any kind of a relationship. So what is it that you want? And that's what I was thinking. He said, it's really important. Come by the house. So I went, and he, within 30 seconds of the conversation, or less than a minute, let me put it that way, he come off and told me he had had 4 heart attacks. I'm the oldest son. They didn't even bother telling me. We're talking, my parents divorced when I was 7, and this is his second family. And show you what good, lovely people they are. They didn't even bother to inform me that he had had 4 heart attacks. Well, at any rate, and just by the way, he's dead now, and I do not have anything to do with them people. I don't claim them as family. But at any rate, he started telling me about the 4 heart attacks, and how he was on that last one. He was in a coma, and he said I could hear everybody around me, but I couldn't move. And these were his words. And by the way, I hadn't told anybody about what had happened to me, because I didn't want anybody to think I was crazy. Now I don't care. Fucking A, I'm crazy. I've been driven to it by circumstances. But he said, I found myself in a place, and there was light everywhere. He said, and I seen all these people that you never met. They were part of the family. They had passed away. And he said, I seen your grandma. Grandma died back in the early 90s, if I remember correctly. And Grandma in life was an old bitch. She was a mean, bitter individual. And but he said when he seen her where he was at, that she had a light around her, that she was like fulfilled, joyful was his term words. And is there anybody in here anymore? And you scroll. Oh, Asher. Is there anyone even in the room? If you are, put something in chat. But anyway, I can't remember what he said that she said to him, but the last thing she said to him before he woke right up out of his coma was, Bobby, you're going to be all right. The same words that Debbie said to me. And when something hits you and it's the truth and there's no more getting around it anymore, that something bigger than you allowed something to occur, or in my case occur, and I realized that there was something, like I said, bigger than me at work here, because my whole life changed. Everything did. I was fighting to get my VA disability, which I did not never get, and I did file for civilian disability, and did get it within after I filed, 11 months after I filed, because my hip and my back was all messed up from an explosion, which, by the way, the VA will not do anything for me. But at any rate, when he told me that, I knew that there was a God. The jury's still out on the Jesus aspect. I'm not. I will say this before I eat a meal. I do say the blessing and say, Lord, bless it in the name of Jesus. I don't know if that counts for anything or not, but I do that out of respect. Besides, I need to be more respectful to my Creator. I wish I could be a lot more than what I have been. But anyway, that's the tale of my out-of-body experience. That's not right. I know what I want to do. How long have I been on TikTok? Where's I don't know if anybody's on TikTok or not. I don't know how to tell. Someone knows how, holler at me. Let me know. Oh well. How long have I been on here for? Guess I'll shut it down in about 10 minutes. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's tune her back up, get it in regular standard tuning. E, A, this should be, oh, D's out a little bit. For some reason it's restricted. Where was I? tune. All right. For some reason, TikTok restricted some of my viewers. Not that there's any viewers on TikTok. Probably because I mentioned that I smoke weed. I don't know. Let's see. Well, let me end this over here real quick. Because I'm simulcasting on TikTok. That's just a waste of my fucking time right there. God dang. Huh. I swear.
I'm setting a timer right now. Shoot, my favorite hack.
I'm not really all that impressed with that TikTok shit. I know a couple people on there, but I mean, literally 2 people. Hell, there ain't even no one here on YouTube. That's my Spanish guitar imitation. I'll be. Okay, I'm gonna do one or two more and wrap it up since TikTok was a disaster and there ain't no one in here. And that will end this session of Rock and Roll Love Palace. Because there ain't, for one, there ain't no one here. It damn sure wasn't on TikTok. It doesn't seem to be on YouTube either. So, let's see. Anybody leave me any nasty comments? Nope. Well, thanks for coming by.